The team that were chasing the Vikings in the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, another pretty convincing win over the Indianapolis Colts today. It was in the beginning a little shaky in Detroit. Like I thought it could have been a game. 24-6 is the final score here. But early on, the Colts weren't able to convert inside the red zone. 2 early drives where they get inside the 5 and they cannot score. And that's maybe the second one didn't get inside the 5, but there was a drop on the 2-yard line where Indianapolis should have had 14 points early. Instead, they're down 7-6. Richardson had a missed throw to Alec Pierce that would have been a huge gain in the first quarter. And Detroit's done this to teams. If you don't take advantage of your moment against them, they will make you pay. In the second half, the Colts, the Lions really just took off. Started to stifle the Indianapolis offense, and that was really it. Anthony Richardson couldn't get much going. But that's what I've learned about Detroit this year. If you don't capitalize, they will punish you. Week 1 against the Rams. The Rams were up 20-17 with a chance to ice the game. They couldn't do it, gave the ball back to Detroit, who goes right down the field, ties it, wins in overtime. Texans, big lead. CJ Stroud has a chance to knock him out, throws an interception in the end zone, sparks the Detroit comeback. Next thing you know, they're in that football game, and they find a way to win. The Vikings, Sam Darnold had we had the crazy comeback with the fumble recovery, have a chance to put the game away, can't convert a third down. Detroit goes down the field, game-winning field goal. Today against the Colts, missed opportunities early, they make you pay for it. That's what we've had with the Lions now. They're not unbeatable. They're not invincible. They do beat the crap out of bad teams, unlike anyone in the league this year. And it's pretty impressive. I mean, looking what they're doing to the Titans and the Jaguars, teams don't do that in the NFL. Those are college football scores that you're seeing when Detroit plays bad teams. But the few times that they've played more competitive teams this year, and those competitive teams have had their opportunities, the Lions always find a way to win. And I've been calling it lucky sometimes when I get frustrated. I'm like, everything's going their way. For 40 years, it didn't go Detroit's way. And now this season, every break they have, of course, the year the Vikings are 9-2, every break that the Lions could get, they're getting. Well, some of it is a little bit of luck. That's involved with great seasons, with all-time seasons for franchises. But you're also making your luck sometimes. You're also forcing those turnovers and forcing teams into mistakes and missed opportunities. They kind of go hand in hand. Yes, you get a little lucky, but also Detroit is putting teams in the position to make those mistakes. And they don't make mistakes. That's the difference here. The Lions are not going to beat themselves. The only way they're really beating themselves is Dan Campbell making a coaching decision. And today, what was it earlier today? I'm trying to remember I think at 14-6 they had a 4th and 1. Yeah, this is what it was. They had a 14-6. The Lions were stuffed inside the Colts 20-yard line on a 4th and 1. And that's a situation where against the Colts, doesn't really matter in week 12. But if you're playing Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game, I know that the stats and all the numbers say go for it. You had the chance to go to a 2-score lead. You probably want to take it. Because if you're playing the better teams in the league, they'll make you pay. Now, Detroit doesn't normally make these mistakes, and usually they convert these. They have a great offensive line. They have the best running back tandem in the league. There's a reason they're going for it. There's a reason it works most of the time. But the only chance I really see Detroit of making a mistake, critical mistakes that cost them, is those situations. I don't see Goff having many of those. He had the 5-interception game against Houston. They still won. But that's not going to happen very often in Detroit. He hasn't made a lot of mistakes for a while now. You don't have defensive collapses really going on this season in Detroit. And that's the difference between them and the other teams this year. Other teams make mistakes that cost them. Detroit doesn't. Coming up, this is really where we're going to get into the meat of the schedule for Detroit. I'm excited to see them play the Bears next on Thanksgiving. It's a game that they should win. I don't categorize the Bears on the same level as the AFC South teams that and even Dallas. When they beat up on them this season, the Bears are feisty and they're not playing bad football. I mean, 2 really close losses, 2 field games that came down to field goals against the Lions. Against the Packers and the Vikings. So you're at home. They'll probably win that game, but Bears defense is really good. I'm excited to see that matchup and how Caleb plays. But after that, this is what we want to see from the Lions. This is where you earn the number 1 seed. Hosting the Packers Thursday Night Football, hosting Buffalo, at Chicago, at San Francisco. I believe that's Monday Night Football. Maybe Sunday night. No, Monday. Hosting the Vikings. Those final 5 games there. Packers, Bills, Bears, Niners, Vikings. That's your opportunity. That's where, even though everyone believes in you right now, that's where you put your foot on the throat of the NFC and you win the conference. And then it goes through Detroit, where the playoff environment has been really good last season. And you have your opportunity to win a Super Bowl. The best one you've had probably ever in Detroit. In a weaker NFC, I think Philadelphia's playing good football right now. We'll see if they'll probably wind up losing the Sunday night game, which is going on right now as I say this, but this is the chance. And those games will determine it. If you lose to the Packers on Thursday Night Football, if you lose to a Buffalo team that, Josh Allen can beat anyone, that's where you open the door for Philly to get the 1 seed, for the Vikings or Packers maybe to steal the division. This is what we want to see from the Lions. There are better games ahead. They've mopped the floor against these crappier teams. But we're really going to see what the Lions are made of down this stretch here. And there's no reason to believe that it's not going to be really impressive and potentially just dominant. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, I believe it was the 9th time that they've each scored a touchdown in a game. And that's 3rd most in NFL history. They've only played a season and a half together. There are fun teams to watch in the NFC North. As a Viking fan, the Lions and Packers are 2 of the most fun teams you can watch. So it sucks that in a 9-2 year, you're dealing with this. But if you have to, I have to watch them. I will no matter what, but especially with the show. And they're fun.